Good morning, everyone. I'm back. I took a lot of time off to take care of myself. It's like if you live in the U.S., you're tied to a system, right? And that system takes so much from you, and that's what I was up to. Just like I was tied down to so much stuff, and I didn't want to focus on this channel. But the last 2 weeks, I decided, you know what, I want to come to another country, Mexico to be exact, to see food prices, right? Food prices because it's crazy. It's just crazy in the U.S. and I wanted to see the difference. So, for example, like look right here. Just before I say anything to you about prices, understand that one American dollar is 17 Mexican pesos. Okay, so that Fanta or whatever you want to call it over there is 46. You get two of them for 46 pesos. That comes out to 17, 34, $2, $3. They just said $3. Okay, you get two of those for $3. Versus in the US where you don't get that. Okay, you get that for $2. Check the price in the US, you're not getting that. One of the department I was walking through was the meat department, and it was shocking to me the price of meat. For example, I took a couple of pictures back in 2019. Like when I go to the grocery store, I'll send my friends pictures of meat prices. Just like, hey, this is the price. Which one do you want? And I just went through our text messages just to see. The prices of what we bought in the past, and I was shocked at like the prices are 300%, and I'm not exaggerating. It's like literally 300% the same cut of meat. I look at one slice of meat the other day. I sent a picture to my friend. It was $38, and we compare it to the picture that I had before, and it was $8. So that's kind of sad, and that's where we live. But everything is expensive in the U.S. Like everything is expensive, and it's causing some people who are able to leave and live outside the U.S. because it's not, it's not that everything costs so much. You also have to invest your mental health into it. So try to give a good example because I just woke up and the first thing I decided to go to Walmart. I just woke up. So let's say you have a job, you're having it hard to pay your rent. That's one. But then your job doesn't make your life easier when you go there because they also ride you. So that's two. Now this is where your mental health come in, right? You get on the road to go to home or go to work. You have to spend hours in traffic. That's three. And then everything piles up, your insurance. The average person in America, the average responsible person, I'm gonna take this rice. This one comes out to $2.48 or something like that. The average responsible, and when I say average responsible person in the U.S., I mean like a person who's decent, who wakes up, go to work, and actually try to make a living and be a good human being. That person suffers a lot because there's so much you have to go through. And sometimes I see people who do bad things, right? They're like, you know what? I'm just gonna steal. I'm just gonna live off the government. There's part of me that sides with them, like, oh, well, not the stealing part, but the people who are just lazy because they're like, hey, you know what? I can wake up and do nothing and get this. Why not? I don't think that's a good way to live, but I can, see their point. Like, there's no reason for me to contribute because I'm not getting nothing in return, and that makes perfect sense to me in a way, So like I said, I'm not condoning those people, but it's a thing that they're doing because they don't want to be part of a system. Now, go back to grocery, right? Grocery prices are high, so high that I feel like they are purposely doing it to us. So for example, right? Let's say you have something at $3. they end up raising it to $16. And you're like, oh my God, these people are killing us. They will end up lowering the price to $10. And then you will be grateful, forgetting that it's still double what it used to be. And I'm just tired of the greed. The U.S. has become one of the most greediest place on the planet. Is oh gosh, I'm out of words of how to explain how greedy the U.S. is. I love the seasoning for steak. It's one of my favorites. We have become like the most greediest country in the world. We just hurt our own people, and not to mention our government send all the money to other countries, and I'm exhausted. This is my first day in Mexico, and I'm kind of relieved. I'm feeling there's this, I don't know how to explain it, this feeling you get, you're like, I'm not there anymore, even though I have to go back. Granted, for me, I have a business, and it's easier for me than most people. I'm still not looking forward to my 4 days ending. I am here looking for an apartment, and I'm also trying to experiment on prices to see what are the prices of stuff here. Because I want to see the difference, Okay. So I was reading a paper in Dallas, and it says that 80% of people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I don't want that big of a salt. I end up giving all my stuff to my neighbors. Like if I buy all this stuff and the stuff I can take back home with me, I end up giving it to a neighbor. And one thing I love about Mexico, anywhere in South America, is when you give stuff to people, there's no shame. They will take it from you. They will happily take it from you and tell you thank you. So I appreciate people who are just no shame, just there's no need to be ashamed about anything. But there's 80% of people in Dallas who are 6 months or more late on their mortgage. I think that's sad. That because I not even imagine. I know how that feels. Like at one point, I was young, I was lazy, and I was losing my place of rest, my home, place of rest. And I had an eviction on the door. It is one of the feelings that is sad, is scary, because at any given moment there's a lock on that door, right? So now we're not talking about 18-year-old me. We're talking about a grown man, a grown woman, and a family, and kids. And any given time they can lose their place. There are people out here who anger me, and let me vent on that real quick. When you're telling people that, economy's bad, right? Somebody will say, economy's not bad, I'm doing good. That is one of the most annoying things people do, and I've done it. And, it's like people are telling you something is bad, and you're just full focus on, I'm doing great. I don't know about you guys. We have a lot of that in the U.S., and it needs to stop, because if the longer that keeps going, the more the companies feel that they can rip off people. They can, upcharge, because there's always people in a system who will say, it's fine. A perfect example of that, right, is just take the food prices, for example. 3 years ago, people were saying food prices are high, and some people were like, it's fine, I'm doing great. And now those same people are like, what the hell? No, this is not right. We usually don't feel bad for people or things until it hit home. And, we need to work together. I'm looking at all these, 80+% of people who are about to lose their house or going to lose their house. And I can only imagine, how they feel. The fear, the constant planning of where we're going to go. That father who might end up going through a divorce because he can no longer provide. And I'm just asking myself, could things get better? Yes, things can get better. Company can stop being too greedy. Companies can, uh, you know, work with people on lowering their mortgage, but it's not going to work because it's a system. The system is pure. I'm looking for seasoning that I can find, so just bear with me. And it's just a system that is not going to change, and it's about greed. It's about taking from people, and that's all it is. Nothing's gonna change, and that's what it's gonna be. I have most of what I need, but I'm not mentally here this morning. I'm making a stick, so I'm not mentally here, and I'm forgetting. Black pepper. See, there you go, black pepper. So, there is a system in the U.S. which just prides on taking from people as much as it can, and it doesn't stop. It just keeps going. One of the things that angers me the most about America, and I'm not supposed to be saying America in when I'm overseas, because America is considered as the whole South and North America, so the USA. One thing that annoys me about the USA is we are so focused on sending our money away. As a business owner, I know why the U.S. does that, and it's a game that people should wake up to. But think about if the U.S. keeps all the money in the USA, America, right? Our people will do better, but more people will get lazier. So what we do is we send as much money. We send a lot of money outside the country because it kind of keep the system going. I'm trying to. So let's say we're not in debt, right? The government is always telling us we're trillions in debt, trillions in debt. Imagine if we were not trillions in debt. Guess what? People will be like, "Oh, we're doing good. I don't need to worry about this. I don't need to worry about that." But they have to keep taxing us, keep making us. That is hot. I don't want to play that game. They have to keep taxing us. They have to keep, charging us for stuff, even unnecessary stuff. They have to keep raising taxes. And then they get to a point where you ask, like, is there something that people can do? Yes, there's things people can do. People can talk to their officials, but we do not talk to our elected officials because we're just stupid like that, because you vote for someone to represent you, and they don't represent you, but you're okay. And then you vote in another person, and another person, and another person. They just keep going, and nothing changes, right? we Everything that's happening to us, we're allowing it. We're allowing it. We're allowing it. I live in an apartment complex where every day the tow truck is there. Literally every day the tow truck is there towing cars every day. And I asked the guy, I said, like, why are you here every day like this? Are they because people parking in the wrong place? He said, no, man, people are not paying their stuff, and my job is to take them. I take them. And I said, so you're making a lot of money? He said, I hate to tell you this, brother, but I'm raking it in. That's his exact words. Like, I'm raking it in. This is the most money I've made. I'm like, damn, that sucks. I saw one of the guy chase. Let me get this. Saw a guy chased a tow truck the other day, which was so sad. Like, this person is going to work, and they have no choice but to walk now. But to see them chase, their vehicle in sadness, I don't know. I'm just venting right now because I haven't, put anything to paper. But I'm also want to show you guys the grocery store. But look, I'll give you an example. Another one. I just bought all of this for $2. All this is $2. But that, this one has a pineapple inside. That's a chocolate one, chocolate cake, and full bread. $2. You would have got all this in the U.S. for more. And look, that's $1.30 $1.25, I believe, $1.25, because 17 cents is 1 peso. 3 of these will go for $2. 3 for $2. It's just stuff like that. Stuff like that. Anyway, I'm just crying on the internet for now. You guys have a great day and try to be nice to each other as much as you can, okay? Because we all need each other.